Hello, everybody. My name is Eric, creator of Captain Grumpy Gaming, and I wanted to put together a series of videos around Asheron's Call. Asheron's Call is a video game. It's an MMORPG that came out in the late 1990s, I believe, and it was the first MMORPG I was ever introduced to, and I was mind blown. I'd never seen anything like it. So, fast forward 20 something years later, and I found out that the game had been canceled, defunct, dead, however you want to say it. And the community got together and somehow got all the source code, compiled it, and recreated it in an emulator. So, the game is a very complex game, no hand holding, and so you know, fast forward again 25 years later, getting back into it, like, oh man, what am I doing? I have no idea. So I wanted to put together a video, let's play series to really kind of get, if you've never played Asheron's Call before, or if you're just getting back into it again, like I was after 100 years later, um, I wanted to put together basically a starter, all the quests that you really need to get to level 50, and in particular all the facility hub quests. So that's what this video is, this series of videos is going to do, hopefully. And with that, I thank you for joining. Enjoy. All right, so when you first log into Asheron's Call, you're going to get a screen like this, and your character list will be empty. So when you go into create character, and you're presented with 6 different tabs. So your first tab is your heritage, what race you want your character to be. There's quite an extensive list here. I won't get into all these. You can spend some time and look through what you want to play, but essentially there were 3 primary ones in the beginning of the game: Alluvian, Grundon, and Show. And each of the different heritages have different racial bonus skills. You can look through that as well and kind of get familiar with it. But that's the initial tab. Next tab is profession, and again, here you can pick what type of character you want to play. Each of these characters will have, if you select them, will have their attributes already pre-selected for you. So for example, Lifecaster will probably have high focus and self, Bow Hunter, high coordination, quickness, War Mage, probably focus self as well. But you also have the option to create a custom character. And when you create a custom character, your attributes here will be set. It won't be set yet, so you can specify your attributes. So it really allows you to set up your character however you want. And one great thing about Asheron's Call, among the million, is you're not locked into a specific class, a specific type of character. So you can mix and match the skills. So you can have, for example, a life magic casting archer. You can have a tanky mage. Different ways you can set up your character. There are obviously templates out there, or there are templates, maybe not obviously, but there are templates out there that you can follow that kind of lead you down a certain path. And I encourage you to go out and look online. There's a lot of Asheron's Call information out there if you look for it, especially around setting up characters and different ways to create your character. But that's the profession tab. Next tab is skills. So, all right, so sorry, on profession tab, your attributes are essentially your character attributes. So if you're familiar with RPGs at all, you'll understand most of this stuff. So strength, endurance, coordination determines the different abilities of your of your character, how fast they are, how good they are at magic, blah, blah, blah. So that's the profession screen. Next screen is skills. And in here is really where, and you should spend a bit of time on trying to understand how these skills work. There's a lot of skills, and when you're setting up your character, it's pretty critical early on to kind of figure out what it is you want to do and how you want to play. So I would recommend spending a bit of time understanding what each of these individual skills are. But the primary difference between your attributes and your skills are that your attributes are direct points into your character. So for example, your strength, if you raise your strength by 1, it raises your character's strength by 1. With skills, you've got that same component. You can raise, like arcane lore, for example, you can raise directly, and that skill point will go up 1, but also your skills are dependent on your attributes. So for example, if you look at arcane lore, the formula to calculate arcane lore, apart from you raising them directly, is the formula. So you've got arcane lore is focus divided by 3. So what that means is every time you raise focus by 3 points, it's also going to raise your arcane lore by a point. So pretty important to know, and really is critical in creating your character. Because again, for example, let's use life magic. So life magic requires focus plus self divided by 4. So for every focus and self point, up to 4 points, once you've put 4 points into those two attributes, then your life magic will raise by 1. So when you're creating your character, if you want a mage and you want to use life magic, then it's probably best for you to, when you're setting up your attributes, that you put a lot of points into focus and self, and that'll automatically off the bat raise that life magic skill. All right, the other piece of it too is you've got 4 different categories of skills. So you've got specialized skills, you've got trained skills, you've got usable untrained skills, and you've got unusable untrained skills. And really the big difference, so in your skills and where they reside within those 4 categories, is specialized skills cost a lot less to raise, and you get experience points as you progress, and you put those experience points into skills. Well, specialized skills cost a lot less to raise, and you can read the text here, and it goes through what each of these mean. So I won't get too much more in the weeds with it, but essentially specialized skills cost a lot less to raise. Usable untrained skills mean that you can use them. So you can, for example, you can do armor tinkering if you want. Probably wouldn't want to if it's unusable, but you can. So even though it's untrained, it's still things that you can use. And then finally, unusable untrained skills means you absolutely just can't use them. So item enchantment, creature enchantment, anything in this list, until you train them. And as you progress in the game, you'll get additional skill credits to raise things. So if you don't have something trained or you want to get it, you've got opportunities as the game progresses to get more of these skills. So don't worry about, oh man, I wanted healing, but I can never get healing. Well, if you don't train it now, well, you can. But you do have a limited number, so again, there's a lot of information out there on the internet around kind of creating characters and your skill credits. So again, I encourage you to take a look, but just suffice it to say, you can pick up things after you've created your character, so you're not locked into this is all you'll ever get. All right, so the next tab you have is appearance, and I won't get too much into detail on this. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. So you can change your hairstyle, you change your gender, you can change your eye color, nose, mouth, skin, blah blah blah. So you can adjust the appearance to how you want it to be. Uh, the next tab is town. So there's really 4 different towns you can start in. There's Sanamar, there's Holtberg, there's Yurok, and Shaoxi. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing these correctly, but that's the way I say it. And I'll probably slaughter a million of these words in the time I'm put together all my videos. But these are the 4 starter towns, so you want to pick whichever one you want to start in. Each one of these towns has starter quests, and for the purpose of the series I'm putting together, I'm going to start everybody in Holtberg. It's really the town that I started in when I started playing this game 20 plus years ago, and it's the one I'm most familiar with, so I kind of stick around there. But each town has different starter quests that you can that can kind of guide you through the early beginning. And in fact, each one of these towns really have quests, starter quests that get you to about level 10 or 12, and then you typically move to the facility hub quests and the Othoi quests and the Tusker quests within facility hub, and kind of get your way to level 50. But each one of these towns typically gets you to level anywhere from 10 to 15, enough to get into the facility hub quest, which is level 10. I think level 10 prerequisite. All right, and then finally, the summary. It's really just going to go, it gives you a summary of what your character is. It shows your attributes, your skills, all that stuff, what your profession is, what gender, blah, 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 blah. And then you can give yourself a name. And then once you're satisfied with everything here, you just go ahead and click finish, and it will dump you into the world of Dereth.